I'm Joe.
I'm Jocelyn, and
Welcome
welcome
to
to 13 Flat.
Come on in. So this is our shop that we built last summer. When the lockdown started happening with COVID, we took the liberty to go ahead and take advantage of that time that we had off of work, me being with the military and my wife being with the Department of Health. And we created a family project to build this shop because we knew ultimately we wanted to do an apparel company. So when we built this shop this summer, we did it with the intention of later on down the road, future expansion, so that it doesn't limit our ability to make cool and exciting products and apparel for our customer base or our soon-to-be customer base. And we also didn't want to future limit our capacity for our creativity. So we started off with a 100 amp service in our fully insulated, fully heated shop. We started off with making sure that each wall of this building has its own independent circuit, so we don't have a limitation as far as what we can do for power. So into this area, we're currently under construction of a brand new table that's going to be custom made in our garage. That's going to span this wall and into a portion of there. Moving forward, we want to have our A to Z Stahls Hottronics t-shirt press in this general location. We'd also like to have a Stahls 360 IQ in this location. And moving further down the line, we've got cabinet space for all of our various different tools and utensils that we're going to use. We have a bunch of loft space up top. So this isn't just limited to this level. We created this environment in this studio with the anticipation to be able to house stock and everything we're going to need. Moving over here, eventually, a couple years down the road, we'd like to try to have some form of screen printing press, dryer conveyor moving on in this direction. So we definitely have big plans for this moving forward. But that's our basic rundown of our shop location and how we plan on using it.
So when we met and started bringing our families together and blending, we knew right away that we had a bunch of unique experiences that we had lived through in our life that we could share with each other that would be appealing to the public. Years that I spent working as a reserve deputy sheriff for the local county that we're here in, my education and background with some fire service work and EMS work, eventually leading me to my job as a drug investigator for the local or for the state health department. We started realizing that we are relatable and we wanted to be able to relate our experiences with a lot of other people out there that were like us.
And so for me, when I was 19 years old, I grew up in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and wound up filling up my pro card with the Southeastern Bull Riders Association, which at the time, and I believe still is, owned by Jerome Davis. I moved out to Steamboat Springs, Colorado at the age of 19, following a cousin of mine who had also lived out there. Jocelyn and I weren't to meet until many years later. We had found out that we had a lot of common ground with people that we had crossed paths with in the rodeo scene over that time period, because some of our time period in the rodeo scene overlapped. Jocelyn being a competitive barrel racer, and myself being more of a rough stock event guy, but I'd filled my PRCA permit and wound up being a PRCA card holder and working for various ranches in the northwest Colorado area, as well as hunting outfitters. And when I was working for Bill May at the Esparras May Ranch, I started really diving into my creativity as far as horse and cattle brands were concerned, and I wound up developing what was to become the 13 Flat logo. This was my original horse brand at that time period in my life, and I did that for many years, and I registered that as my horse brand. And flash forward to 2.5, almost 2 years, a little over 2 years ago, I was seriously injured in the Army. I've been in the Army for quite a few years as a 89 Delta EOD bomb tech. And moving forward from my injury, several injuries actually, it started becoming more and more apparent that a lengthy Army career at my age probably wasn't going to happen. So we had to think quickly and come up with a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C. And for myself, I've always made drawings and sketches and paintings, and I've always played music. And Jocelyn's always been very creative in her own right. She's always done various projects that extremely inspiring, and we started putting those creative juices together, and we realized that this registered horse brand I had could be a very lucrative logo for the rural scene, for the country scene, for the rodeo scene, equestrians in general. And from that point, about a year and a half ago, we decided to start developing it even further. We started consuming as much information about different forms of appealing our brand to the general public, and we found ultimately that apparel was more than likely the best way of doing that. For me, that started the adventure of watching hundreds, if not thousands, of hours of YouTube clips. Lee Stewart with 38 Ride Co. and Road Company. That's where I actually learned about Stahls and Hot-Tronics. I probably have that written down in my book somewhere where I would pause the videos and write it down and look it up through search engine searches later on in the evening. And we really just started going down this venture, and it wound up becoming downloading Adobe Illustrator and starting to learn how to use that, building this shop, and so forth.
We spent the better part of this last year not only educating ourselves, but setting the foundation for our business, making sure that we're ready for our proper business licenses, making sure that we know what we need to do as far as our taxes,
Trademarking.
and trademarking our the brand that Joe developed. And the more people that we started talking to and showing the design to, the interest just blossomed. And we have 4 kids between us, and we have a big, beautiful family, and we knew that we were going to have to get and continue to be creative in order to financially support our family in the lifestyle that we enjoy and that we are accustomed to. And when we did the first sample,
which was this hat, I had one of my best friends lives in just north of Austin in Leander, and he's lucky enough to have a forehead embroidery machine that's pretty much sole purpose for his company, Horns and Heels Radio Company. And he did the first mock-up for the hat. This is our very first one we ever did. And though it's crude in nature and it's not exactly what we want our end result product to be, this is the first one. This was something for us to be proud of, because it was the first time we actually got to see it on paper. And the first time we really started developing it was in our book. Here, I'd saved these pages because I figured it was going to be sentimental to us at one time. But that was the original concept for the logo, and we also had him put that on this embroidery here. And then we started playing around with different fonts that we wanted to do as far as 13 flat was concerned. Our company name came from Jocelyn's research, and being a competitive barrel racer, we researched and found that 13.46 seconds was the world record barrel racing time. So our company name is our version of saying aspire to greatness. Make your next run 13 flat. And then throughout the last year, writing notes and watching endless videos and tons of Stahls Hot-Tronics videos on YouTube and what have you, and trying to get ourselves, scrimping and saving and eating beanie weenies and really trying to stretch a dollar to put some money back to try to make this realized. Coming up this year after August, I'm out of the Army, so we had to think pretty quick. Some of ours was red, white, and rodeo, the American flag with the 13 flat symbol in it, run wide open, 13 flat, never corralled, 13 flat. So this was really our beginning stages for all of our ideas moving forward.
And it didn't take us long to realize that the sky was the limit, and that's what we're prepared to do. So we've adopted a really basic model: crawl, walk, run, and we are ready to get up off of our knees and walk.
Fair enough. Well, I think that says about it all, doesn't it?
We hope that you enjoyed a little peek into our life. We're just, basic people with a vision and a passion and an idea. And this vision is going to take us so much further than we'd ever hoped. And we enjoy and welcome the public into watching as that vision grows. So thank you very much for selecting us and considering us as a finalist. We hope to be working with Stahls, and we are prepared to show all of the ups and downs, as 13 flat grows into something really amazing.
Absolutely. And with that being said, I'll sign off by saying make your next run 13 flat.